Viewer discretion is advised. The boy was laying in my bed, barely clinging on to life one night. He could feel death beginning to gnaw at his soul. A short and round-looking man with a huge beard, wearing some sort of tunic, entered the room. He smiled at the boy as he stood next to the bed. Panicked, the boy tried to turn away but ended up coughing violently instead. He looked down at him with pity and sadness in his eyes before asking permission if he'd like his help. The boy felt a sudden sense of ease and slowly calmed down. He nodded his head and the man got to work immediately. He placed his hands an inch or two above the boy's chest and closed his eyes. Seconds later, his hands glowed a soft blue as a pleasant warmth began welling up in the boy's chest. This sensation then worked its way through his body, and slowly but surely, he could feel strength returning to him. The boy asked what he was doing in amazement, but the man grunted out in a gruff voice as he began to sweat from exertion. His hands were shaking now. The boy could tell that the man was straining himself for his sake. Regardless, he pressed on and did not stop until he knew for sure that the boy was cured of his illness. After finishing, he sharply exhaled and collapsed into a nearby chair for guests. By Horus, I think I nearly fainted. But never mind that. How do you feel, child? He asked, smiling brightly. The boy responded that he felt fantastic. The man took a deep breath, stood up, and began to walk away. The boy called after him and asked who he was. Me? I'm the best, kid. Get it? He said and chuckled to himself. Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today we bring you SCP Foundation SAFE Class Object SCP-208. SCP-208, also known as Bess, resembles an Egyptian human male with a long beard and a short stature. His body is incredibly hairy. He wears an Egyptian tunic from the Old Kingdom era and sometimes more modern military fatigues. Despite his odd humanoid appearance, 208 is actually thought to be the Egyptian deity Bess. Researchers believe this to be true as he prefers to be called Bess over 208 and responds happily to it. When asked if he is in fact a god, he smiles mysteriously and says, I am who you say I am. Ha, I knew a guy who used to say that. Nice fellow. Other than his supposed godhood, Bess does possess an array of anomalous abilities. First and foremost is his ability to induce rapid cellular regeneration and reconfiguration by focusing a type of electromagnetic radiation to radiate from his hands. This requires intense concentration. His body naturally radiates this type of healing radiation, but his hands are able to channel it more precisely. Second, simply by being near Bess, individuals remark that they feel safe, at ease, and happy, which makes him quite popular among the staff. However, when he is around those who harbors despicable and evil intentions, they become distraught and incredibly afraid. This is in line with the mythological god Bess, as he was designated as a defender against evil. Specifically, Bess is a protector of women and children. Despite his appearance, he is incredibly friendly to everyone he meets. Therefore, Bess has been granted free roam in Site-17. He is generally seen helping in the medical wing and caring for children should any fall under Foundation custody. The only thing to inspire aggressive behavior from 208 has been snakes, for which he has expressed deep hatred. 208 was found buried near the Nile River in Egypt, completely encased in granite except for one of his feet. Foundation personnel were able to successfully crack him out of the rock and thought at first he was a perfectly mummified corpse. That was until he started speaking. Oh dear! Hello all. How long was I out? Bess asked the stunned researchers who quickly called for security. Easy now, guys. I don't mean anyone harm. I'll comply. Name's Bess, by the way. Pardon my rude entrance. He then guffawed and slapped his rotund belly. Bess was escorted to the director of Site-17, and after a period of testing and good behavior, Bess was allowed to roam Site-17 freely. A series of testing was done with Bess against SCP-500, or the panacea. Researchers wanted to test his effectiveness versus that of the panacea. After 3 separate tests, it was determined that SCP-500 heals and cures much faster and effectively compared to Bess. When he found out about the results, Bess scoffed. He said that those pills can cure you, but they aren't much for conversation. After some time in Foundation custody, some researchers wanted to test Bess's ability to ward off non-humanoid entities, specifically SCP-682. When Bess was told of 682's dangerous and violent nature, he shrugged and said he wasn't worried. After being told of the horrid things 682 has done, Bess reassured the researchers that he would be fine. Bess was brought to the containment unit for 682. The moment he stepped inside, 682 immediately hissed and roared. Bess chuckled. "What a loud one you are!" Bess bellowed and 682 charged towards him. Bess extended his hand and allowed his blue electromagnetic healing waves to pulse from it. 682 stopped in its tracks and retreated, shrieking in terror as Bess walked towards it. "I've seen horrific entities more powerful than you before the creation of this universe. I am no great warrior, nor am I the strongest amongst the pantheon of gods. But you are nothing but a worm compared to me. Now if I catch any whiff of you hurting anyone in this facility, I will hunt you down. You know why? Because I hate reptiles." Bess spat towards 682 and then left without incident. 682 was incredibly docile until Bess left the site. The site director asked Bess if he was actually capable of killing 682. Bess shook his head. He explained that while he could subdue it for a long time, he'd die in the process, and 682 would return eventually. Bess is incredibly popular with any and all children who come into Foundation custody, and often are given to Bess for care. Most of these children are either severely wounded, ill, or traumatized. But thanks to Bess's aura and happy-go-lucky attitude, all of them are healed and entertained by Bess. He tells them stories from his youth, terrible jokes that everyone but the kids roll their eyes at, and tells them that no matter what it was that happened to them, Uncle Bess would be there to make things all better. In a conversation between Dr. Richards and Bess expressed his joy ever since coming into Foundation custody. "It feels good to be useful. I get to actually be a doctor again." They watched the kids play tag. Dr. Richards nodded and then, after hesitating, bluntly asked if Bess was more powerful than he was letting on. "Ah, no beating around the bush with you, huh? Well, I'm more bark than bite, really, but I can still give some of my foes a run for their money if I really try." His face became somber as he turned to Dr. Richards. "I'm old, Doctor. I no longer have what it takes to be a hero. Still, I'd do anything for mankind, especially the children. They don't deserve to be hurt by anyone. What if the Foundation asks you to fight the anomalies? I'm afraid the higher-ups will want every possible help they can get. That's the kind of organization this is. Then I shall fight and smile as I do so, because I'd die protecting them," he said, pointing at the kids they watched together. "You're something else, Bess." "I know, 'cause I'm the best." "Oh, whatever," Dr. Richards said, trying not to reveal his grin. Bess used his hidden magical ability to cause a plethora of candy to manifest out of thin air and shouted towards the kids. They ran over to him and cheered. "Take all you want, kids. You've earned it."